Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Bhante.
You can see the screen.
Good morning, Bhante.
Huh?
Yes, Bhante. Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. Today, I'm going to talk on mindfulness of death. This may not be a very palatable subject, but it is true. Truth most people don't like to hear, let alone live by it. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Nadika in the brick hall. There the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus. Bhikkhus, whenever those bhikkhus replied, the Blessed One said, Bhikkhus, mindfulness of death and developed and cultivated is of great fruit and benefit, culminating in the deathless. Having the deathless as is the consummation. And how is it this so? What is deathless state? Where there is birth, there is death. Where there is no birth, there is no death. That means Nibbana. You can attain Nibbana by practicing mindfulness of death. Here, because when day and has receded and night has approached, Bhikkhu reflects thus: I could die on account of many causes. A snake might bite me, or a scorpion or a centipede might sting me, and I might thereby die. That would be an obstacle for me. Obstacle for what? Obstacle for achieving his goal, that is attaining deathless state. Or I might stumble and fall down, or my food might disagree with me, or my bile might become agitated, my phlegm might become agitated, sharp pains in me might become agitated, people might strike me, or wild spirit might attack me, and I might die. That would be an obstacle for me. Any of these causes can cause my death. Any of these. And therefore, this is a very wonderful way of developing our spiritual urgency. So, this bhikkhu should reflect thus: do I have any bad, unwholesome qualities that have not been abandoned, which might become an obstacle for me if I were to die tonight? So, what are the bad, unwholesome qualities? Hindrances, fetters, primarily greed, hatred, and delusion, jealousy, rivalry, and so forth. If upon review the bhikkhu knows, I have bad, unwholesome qualities that have not been abandoned, which might become an obstacle for me if I were to die tonight, then he should put forth extraordinary desire, effort, zeal, enthusiasm, indefatigability, mindfulness, and clear comprehension to abandon those bad, unwholesome qualities. Now, if I were to die with these unwholesome qualities, I would simply destroy my life. I defeat my purpose of living as human beings. So I must arise my extraordinary desire, effort, zeal, enthusiasm, indefatigability, mindfulness, and clear comprehension to abandon them. It is Buddha said, just as one whose clothes or head had caught fire would put forth extraordinary desire, effort, zeal, enthusiasm, and indefatigability, mindfulness, and clear comprehension to extinguish the fire on his clothes or head, so that bhikkhus should put forth extraordinary desire, effort, zeal, enthusiasm, indefatigability, mindfulness, and clear comprehension to abandon those bad, unwholesome qualities. When he sees them, don't wait. Just like your head is on fire, beard is on fire, clothes is on fire, you are not at that time going to play music, go to the cinema, have a good discussion. You stop all of them, immediately try to put fire out of your beard and the clothes and whatever. Otherwise you will die. On the other hand, but if upon revealing the bhikkhu knows, I do not have any bad unwholesome qualities that have not been abandoned, which might become an obstacle for me if I were to die tonight. Then he should dwell in that same rapture and joy, training day and night in wholesome qualities. If he finds any wholesome quality in him, then immediately put extraordinary effort to develop, cultivate, multiply day and night, so that when you die, your mind will be clear and pure. But if upon receiving the bhikkhu knows, I do not have any bad unwholesome qualities that have not been abandoned, which might become an obstacle for me, I were to die tonight, then I should dwell in that same rapture and joy, training day and night in wholesome qualities. So you should be very happy, glad, you should be delighted to know when you reflect whether you have bad qualities, you find you don't have them. So I'm so happy. Even if I were to die now, I will die peacefully, and perhaps I die with attainment of liberation. But when night has receded and they approach the bhikkhu reflect thus, I should die on account of many causes, snake bite and so forth and so on. That would carry. This book, bhikkhu should reflect thus. Do I have any bad unwholesome qualities that have not been abandoned, which might become an obstacle for me and so forth? Repeat the same thing. So that is the first thing you must to do. But bhikkhus, but if bhikkhu knows I do not have any bad unwholesome qualities, with that rapture you live. And then this bhikkhu, when mindfulness of death develop and cultivate in this way, that it is of great fruit, benefit, and culminating in deathless. So then another way of Buddha explained this. And again he said on one occasion, in the same place, Buddha said, Buddha addressed the bhikkhus. And bhikkhu said, those bhikkhus replied, Venerable Sir, Then the Blessed One said, because mindfulness of that when developed and cultivated is of great fruit and benefit, culminating in deathless, having the deathless as its culmination, the consummation, but you bhikkhus develop mindfulness of death. When this was said, one bhikkhu said to the Blessed One, Bhante, I develop mindfulness of death. Then Buddha asked, but bhikkhu, how do you develop mindfulness of death? So here a bhikkhu, I think thus, may I live just a night and day so that I may attain to Blessed One's teachings. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness of death. He needs only one day and one night. He needs only one day and one night. This is number one bhikkhu. Bhikkhu number one. First one uh, replied to the Buddha's question. May I have just a night and day. Then another bhikkhu said, I too, Bhante, develop mindfulness of death. Then the Buddha asked, but how bhikkhu do you develop mindfulness of death? He said, here Bhante, I think, may I live just a day so that I may attain to blessed one teachings. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness. He needs only uh, he needs only one day. The first one said, if I live in one day and one night, this bhikkhu said, out of 24 hours, this bhikkhu said, may I live just a day, only 12 hours. 12 hours is enough for him to develop mindfulness of death. Then third monk said, I too want to develop mindfulness of death, but how? But then the Buddha asked, how bhikkhu do you develop mindfulness of death? He said, here Bhante, I think may I live just half a day so that I may attain to Blessed One's teachings. I could then accomplish much. In this way, he said. Here he said just half a day. That means only 6 hours, not even 12 hours. Half a day. So Buddha's, day and night has 24 hours according to our modern calculation, modern division of time. Daytime 12 hours, nighttime 12 hours. This monk said, I have just lived half a day. That is only 6 hours. That is enough. So the fourth monk said, but I would mindful of that. So he said, may I live just the time it takes to eat a single alms meal so that I may attain to Blessed One's teachings. So he needs only just the time it takes to eat a single alms meal. So he would go on Pindapata, receive food, and return and sit down, and then eat his alms food that he brought, eat his alms food meal very mindfully, becoming aware of aware of what is going on, uh, putting hands into the alms bowl and mixing with curry or whatever and taking it out and slowly put into his mouth, slowly chewing, munching, mixing with saliva and becoming aware of the changes, impermanence there, and slowly, mindfully swallowing. When you follow this whole minute activities in eating one alms meal, he would develop mindfulness of death. Meaning he sees impermanence in all this, just like this life is impermanent. Now impermanent he sees in this way. The fifth monk said, they repeated the same questions and Buddha questions. He said, may I live just the time it takes to eat half an alms meal, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching. And I could then accomplish much. It is this way that I develop. So he doesn't have to eat the whole amount of food that he can consume to fill himself up and to uh, complete his eating, but one half of what he was to eat. If he eats 10 morsels of food, he would eat only 5. By then, if he lives up to that moment, he can attain, he can practice mindfulness of that. He does the same thing as the previous one, but his mindfulness develops very keenly, quite well, much better. He needs only one half the meal to eat. Then he attains the enlightenment. That's all I need, he said. Sixth man said, may I live just the time it takes to chew and swallow 4 or 5 morsels of food, mouthful of food. Not even half, he even counted. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, finish. And during that time, he practiced mindfulness of that. He practiced impermanence so keenly, so perfectly. That time is the seventh monk said, may I live just the time it takes to chew and swallow a single mouthful of food, so that I may attend to the Blessed One's teachings. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness of that. Now, seventh monk is still, it is just like a competition of gaining mindfulness of that. This monk said, well, he takes 4 or 5 mouthfuls. I take to use only one mouthful. Let us see. Now, in this marathon of mindfulness practice, is that I swallow. I mean, this is not a joke. I mean, this is I read on my own. So, one single mouthful of food he consumes, and that time he is so deep in his mindfulness practice of that impermanence. See, what all of them do is practicing impermanence, which is universally acceptable truth, and just like Buddha said in another place. Now the eighth monk, this is the most important of this. May I have just the time it takes to breathe out after breathing in, or to breathe in after breathing out, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness of death. Now, how quickly this monk can attain the liberation? Only one inhaling and one exhaling. He said, may I live just the time it takes to breathe out after breathing in, or to breathe in after breathing out. That means when we breathe in, we must understand the breath is made up of very tiny little air particles, air waves, and each of them is changing very rapidly. Unless we become very mindful, we cannot notice this very quick changes of each air waves that we breathe in and breathe out. And also the person, this monk, when he breathes in, he knows that oxygen goes into lungs filled with charged oxygen depleted blood cells, red blood cells, and go to heart pumps, and then it recharge all the 56 trillion cells in our body, and next moment, next second, they all will be absorbed into cells, and oxygen will, without the air without oxygen, or blood cells, red blood cells without oxygen, return to heart pumps to lungs, our breath recharge them with oxygen, and then goes back to heart and so forth. And this circulation is happening all the time. If one becomes mindful of this impermanent internally, if one becomes mindful of externally, that means external air particles, air waves are changing, and goes in. And changing, they come out. So this last monk said, I live just the time it takes to breathe in, breathe out after breathing in, or to breathe in after breathing out, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness of death. So mindfulness of death is, you can develop even using one single inhaling and exhaling. If we keep practicing, mind becomes so sharp, so powerful. Then, when he finished his practice, finished explaining his practice, then the Buddha said, when this was said, the Blessed One said to those bhikkhus, bhikkhus, the bhikkhu who develop mindfulness of death, thus may I live just a night and a day, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching. I could then accomplish much. And the one who developed mindfulness of death, thus, may I live just a day so that I may attend the blessed one teachings, and I could then accomplish much. Third one, the one who develops mindfulness of death, thus, may I live just half a day so that I may attain to blessed one's teaching. I could then accomplish much. And the fourth one said the one who develops mindfulness, just may I live just the length of the time it takes to eat a single alms meal, and so forth. The fifth monk said, may I live just the length of time it takes to eat half meals, and so forth. Sixth monk said, may I live just the length of time it takes to chew and swallow 4 or 5 mouthful of food, so that I may attend to the Blessed One's teaching and I could accomplish much. And so Buddha actually disqualified them, saying, these called bhikkhus who dwell heedlessly, they develop mindfulness of death sluggishly for the destruction of the taints. They do practice, but they practice very sluggishly, slowly. They are not very heedful. But the bhikkhu who develops mindfulness of death, thinking, may I live just the length of time it takes to chew and swallow a single mouthful of food so that I may attain to the blessed translation, I could then accomplish much. And the one who develops mindfulness of death, saying, may I live just the length of time it takes to breathe out after breathing in, or breathe in after breathing out, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching, I could then accomplish. These are called bhikkhus who dwells heedfully, they live out of mindfulness of death keenly for the destruction of taints. And this is what the Buddha said in that discourse. And this is, then finally Buddha said, therefore, because you should train yourself thus, we will develop, we will dwell heedfully, we will develop mindfulness of death keenly for the destruction of taints. This is what the Buddha said. And then what happened to death after that? What happened to us after death? That we see in Mahasatipatthana Sutta at the end. Let me run through that very quickly. Again, Bhikkhu, as though he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a charnel ground, 1, 2, or 3 days dead, bloated, languid, and oozing matter, Bhikkhu contemplated this very body with it thus. This body too is of the same nature. It will not be, it will be like that. It is not exempt from that fate. So one compares one's own body with the body that is in charnel ground. Of course, these days you don't see dead bodies like this. You can see dead bodies like coming out of a wedding, well dressed and three-piece suit and so forth. But in those days, Buddha's time, sometimes people took bodies and put in the charnel grounds. So Buddha said, as if. Then the second is, again, though he were to see. Though he were to see, not either see, because Buddha used these terms that can be applicable anytime, anywhere. See charnel ground being devoured by crows, hawks, vultures, dogs, jackals, or various kinds of worms. A bhikkhu contemplates this body of mine is the same nature and it is not exempt from others, from that. Third is called, so to say, then charnel ground, in a charnel ground, a skeleton with flesh and blood, held together with sinews. Then we could contemplate that my body, so-called my body, will be exactly like that. It will not be it will not be exempt from that. Four stages. He sees the body, fleshless skeleton, smeared with blood, held together with sinews. Then he thinks this body of mine will be exactly like that. This is not exempt from that fate. Fifth is to see a dead body in charnel ground without flesh and blood, held together with sinews. Then Bhikkhu compares this very body with it, thinking this body too is of the same nature. It will not be like, it will be like that. It will not be different from that, not exempt from that. Second is, sixth is is the corpse thrown aside in the charnel ground, disconnected bones scattered in all directions. Here, hand bone, there foot bone, here shin bone, there thigh bone, here hip bone, there backbone, here rib bone, there is the breastbone, here an arm's bone, there shoulder bone, here neck bone, there jaw bone, here tooth, there the skull. So we contemplate, now this body of mine will be exactly the same. It is not exempt from that. Once I die, this happens. Of course, if you were to, even if you put in a coffin and bury it, it will be like that. Again, though you were to decide, charnel ground, bones bleached white and the color of shell. Then he thinks this body will be like that. And the eighth stage is thrown aside, bones heaped up more than a year old. Now 1 year old, when the bones are all heaped together, small pieces here and there. Not even, you cannot identify them. All broken into pieces. The 9 stages is thrown aside, bones more than a year old that have rotted and crumbled to dust. So the Bhikkhu compares this very body with it. This body too is of the same nature. It will be like that. It is not exempt from that fate. Now, I think this may be enough for you to have an idea of mindfulness or death practice, meditation. And Buddha never want to hide the truth. He very boldly explained to us the very nature of life, the very nature of impermanence, very nature of death, and what happens after death. No matter what people think about what happened to the bird after death, this is the true, the truth. This is exactly what happens to anybody, what, irrespective of your religious affiliation. You cannot avoid this. This is what happens to our bodies. So, friends, I think that may be enough for today's Dhamma talk. And let us meditate. After all these things, perhaps this may be a good subject for us to contemplate today in our meditation. So let us try to meditate now. Okay? Are you with me?
Yes,
Yes,
Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Very good. Very good. Now let me put this also on our practice. Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy mind. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this thought, let us meditate. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join others with the wise until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be, from the highest realm of existence to the lowest. May all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, now let us end this session. Now, as usual, let me share with everybody our special metta. May all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases taken care of by doctors, nurses, and hospital staff, may they recover very soon and return to normal life, continue their Dhamma practice, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all the doctors, nurses, hospital staffs who have been taking care of these people out of compassion, risking their own life, and seeing death every day. These doctors and nurses see death every day. And that is very good practice, meditation practice for them. And they attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all those who have been grieving the death of their loved ones may be free from grieving and understand the nature of Dhamma, practice meditation, liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in various trouble spots, war zones, poverty-stricken, discriminations, may they all find time to understand nature of Dhamma, practice meditation, liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, up and down, all those who are in these 10 directions be well, happy and peaceful, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. With this metta thought, let us end this session, and perhaps you may join me tomorrow at this time to answer questions, and see you then tomorrow. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.